Happy New Year! Welcome to episode 42 of Susan Stanley Stitch in Time. I'm Susan, and if you're new to my channel, I'm so glad you're here. I know you're going to enjoy today's episode. It's a little bit of a diversion from what I typically do. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your interest and support. I just appreciate you all so very much. Your interaction, your comments, your kind words. It's just what makes this so special. On this channel, I normally talk about cross-stitch quilting, sewing notions, and sewing methods from the past, and I share my projects with you. But on this very first video of 2024, I'm going to share something special. So much has already happened, and it's already almost the end of January. The year has just begun. I mean, just like a rocket taking off. So today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the Sampler Symposium Event in Mesa, Arizona. I was very privileged to be able to attend, and I just returned. I want to share it with you in a unique way. If you're on Instagram, and you will have probably seen photos of the event and heard about the wonderful presentations and projects. Other FlossTube channels will be sharing details. And as far as my recap, I'd like to invite you into two private and very special conversations I had while I was attending. The first conversation happened as I was walking to my table and continued with what I'm going to share today. You're going to meet Sarah and Carrie, who were also attendees at the event. And our friendship began very organically as we just made a few passing comments. We were all kind of passing each other. We were all three passing each other at the same time. And comments were made, and then a conversation ensued. And we just kept talking, and I knew we had to continue this conversation, and I wanted to share it with you. And so I think by watching this interaction, you're going to experience some of the magic that happens at the attic. Three strangers who are now friends, bound by stitches. The second conversation is with Miss Jean Lea herself, the owner and founder of the Attic Needlework Shop, and all the magical experiences that happen when you're there. Jean is such an inspiration, and I know many of you who have met her will feel the same way. You just are so welcomed and loved when you walk into her shop, when you meet her. If you haven't met her, I hope that this conversation will give you a chance to get to know her and understand why people continue to return to the attic time and time again. Jean is a woman with a vision. She challenges you to be your very best. She encourages you to stretch yourself. All the while she's cheering you on and telling you you can do it, whether it's 56 count over one or soi surfing. She will empower you to take those steps in your stitching, and she believes in you, and she helps you believe in yourself, and so you know you can. She had a dream. The dream is the attic. It has come true, and I know you will be so inspired by her story. So we are here at Sampler Symposium, and we're all kind of a bit tired, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've had an incredible weekend, and I'm here with two wonderful ladies that I met, and I feel so honored and blessed to know them, and I hope I get to meet them again. I have Sarah here.
Hi.
And Sarah, hello, and Carrie.
Hi.
And we just started chatting one morning, I think it was, and I said, you know, you ladies, we're just having this dynamic conversation, and none of us knew each other 2 minutes ago.
Yes.
And here we are, friends.
Yes.
And I said, would you just come and share a little bit to FlossTube about what brought you here and what your takeaway is from this incredible weekend? Sarah, do you want to start?
Okay. Well, exactly as you said, meet all these people from all over the states, Hawaii, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and you feel like you've known them forever because we've got a shared passion for cross stitch. And you know, I wanted to come from England because I've seen Miss Jean on the floss tubes occasionally that she does with Carolyn, and obviously I've heard so much about summer school and the attic from all the other floss tubers I watch, like Brenda and the Serial Starter, and I just really wanted to come over and meet her, and it has exceeded my expectations in every way. The store is absolutely out of this world. It's, you know, it's got museum quality pieces and such a wonderful variety of samplers and stitching accessories. You know, there's something for every taste there. But more than anything, it represents Miss Jean's character, her personality. She is such a fabulous lady. You know, what you see on the screen is exactly what you get in person. She's so generous and she's so humble. She's still, you know, she just can't believe that people like me would travel from England. People have come from Canada. You know, she's just so self-effacing, and she's so talented.
You know, no matter what your stitching level is too, she makes you feel important to the community.
Yes.
Welcoming to her.
Yes.
It is truly incredible.
Yes.
So is this your first time, Carrie?
This is not my first time. And I guess I am always wanting to return because it's kind of like rejuvenation, you know, new inspiration. You know, it's like a reset to, you know, but
kind of motivates you again, right?
Yes.
To get back to your stitching.
It's re-stimulating.
Very much.
Yes.
And I guess to me also too, there is a community out there that I've gotten to know through Floss too.
Yes.
And so it's really nice to be able to speak a few words personally to these people that are so influential in your daily back at home
Well, like Susan.
stitch, like Susan, yes.
Well,
And so it's an opportunity to say thank you.
to say hello.
Yes.
And, you know, I was just sitting here thinking, had we not all decided to come this year, we may not have ever met. And
So true.
what a treasure.
So true.
Yes,
And-
exactly.
And I can't wait to meet up with you again. And so, are you planning to come back?
You betcha. I'm already thinking, I'm going to try for summer school, even though I'm going to another retreat in New York in October. So I thought, well, maybe summer school would be too much, but
You might just be moving here. You might be moving here at that point.
well, you know, next time they need some extra pair of hands in the store, I'm going to volunteer.
Yeah.
I would love that. But the other thing we didn't mention is the quality of the speakers, the faculty.
Yes.
And, you know, it's been so educational, but in a nice, low-key way. As I said, it doesn't matter what your level is. There's something that you will get out of it. And so we had wonderful talks on Irish samplers and English samplers, and Katie Strachan talking about 17th century band samplers.
And these things that you think might be boring, there is inevitably a message specifically to you, you know, and I think about some of the things that Katie was talking about without meaning to speak to me personally, but there's a message there.
Yes.
You know, where she was talking about, you know, challenging us to think about reproduction versus, you know, what were some of the other words that she chose?
I think she said like reinterpreting.
Yes, reinterpret, reproduction. You know, this is also makes me think about, well, so what am I doing as I stitch? And the fact that there's a home for all of those here, which is what brings all of us together.
Yes. And I mustn't forget as well the wonderful evening we had with Needlework Press, Vicky and Megan last night, because that, you know, they were really fascinating, the talk they gave, and the samplers really spoke to me because one of them had a hymn, There Is a Green Hill Far Away, that I love that hymn. And they were really, really good as well.
And we have yet to meet up with Mary Cox tomorrow.
Course.
And it's not over, even though we're coming to the end.
Did you do her workshop on Friday morning?
I did.
Mary Cox.
Fabulous.
That was lovely. gosh.
Yeah.
Most gorgeous
So-
little painted box with a primitive bird. So it's like something sort of 17th century Boston. You know, and
Right,
you
right.
open
Very
it,
much.
and
Right.
then we've got the patterns to do a little tray inside,
Right.
a pin key, a needle
You know,
holder.
and even just more than her project, I get excited to understand how she approaches the project. You know, she says, I'm designing this and I stitch this, and then I come into this challenge. How am I going to resolve this? And that prompts me to think about
Yes,
my
yes.
own,
Yes.
you know, journey. Well, now what would Mary do?
Yes.
You know, so I have the project, which I'm excited about, but I
Yes.
also have a new way to approach my own work.
And also, although there is obviously shopping opportunities at the Attic and pop-up shops, they're so generous with the giveaways and the kits. You know, if you've saved up to come here, you really don't have to feel under any pressure to buy anything else, because you'll be given kits and things that you can get working on. And it's the shopping is such a low-key way that you're not going to feel like you're the only one that isn't, because plenty
Right,
of people
right.
have bought a bit of their own
Right.
stitching as well, and they're just here for the social and to learn. So it's a very nicely done, isn't it? You know.
Well, and also the other thing I would want to kind of encourage people out there considering retreats is, if you're by yourself or you're with a friend, come.
Yes.
Because I've always tried to, even though this is like a second or a third retreat, and I feel like I have lots of friends here,
Yes.
I've always got somebody to eat with, but I love to sit at a table and let people join, whoever they
Yes.
are, because it brings new people, new
Yes.
friends for
Yes.
me.
It's
Well,
so
I
true.
didn't know anybody.
Well,
And
Yeah,
the first
and-
morning there was
well,
a
and
lady
here
on
we
her own
are.
on the table, and that was Nanette from Hawaii. And,
Right, right.
And she had a car, so she gave me a lift to the attic. You know, people are just so
Right. So you have new
generous.
friends every
yes,
time you come.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly.
it's true.
And Miss Jean did say that, didn't she, in the introductory sort of email? If you're on your own, don't worry, because
You'll
your
have a
new
friend
friends are
in
here
through.
waiting.
Yes,
Right.
we take each other in.
Exactly,
Right.
We do,
exactly.
we do.
So it's
Well,
been
shall we do this
fantastic.
again in a year or so, or maybe in a few months?
Yes.
Should we should we
Well,
plan
the
to meet
three of
up?
us should check in again.
I think we should, and I
Yeah.
think we should plan to make this a ritual that we
So
come back
too.
to the
I
attic.
think so
Okay.
too. Yes.
I'm ready.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, both of you, truly, for meeting, you know, reaching out to introduce yourselves, and then for being willing to talk.
Well, thank you for what you give us out
Absolutely.
in Floss
Yes.
land.
Yes.
It's my
Because
pleasure.
on an everyday, day in, until the next retreat, you're there for me.
Aww.
And I think being a floss tube is very difficult,
It is,
isn't it?
yes. To put yourself out like
Yes,
that.
to create content, to film it, to edit it, you know, we're so appreciative when we're sitting. I don't have anybody locally who stitches, and so I love to put the floss tube on, because it does feel like a friend in the room and company.
Right.
You're
That-
never
I'm-
alone, are you?
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and
Thank you.
and here's to another wonderful retreat.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Because it's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
Is this okay? Can I leave my vest on? Because
It
I'm
looks
cold.
great.
Okay.
It looks great.
Okay.
So, Jean, thank you so much for agreeing to do this on such a busy weekend, and sit down and visit with me at Sampler Symposium and share your story of how the attic was started and just this legacy shop that you've created.
Well-
And so we want to hear all about it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Because I love what I do, which is pretty obvious because I'm still doing it at this stage of my life. One of my friends that's a shop owner in another part of the country, who I won't name, said, when I signed another 10-year lease, she said, I'm not going to be doing that when I'm 80. And I said, well, I don't know. I'll keep doing it
Good for you.
till I don't enjoy it anymore. And I love it.
Well, you inspire us all,
Oh, good.
and we
That's
love
right.
it.
That's what gives me joy.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It gives me joy. Because I came into the attic and as a customer in 1981,
Okay.
and I didn't know what a sampler was. I looked around and I thought, what is this thing they have with the alphabet?
That's funny.
And my husband, who's a history buff, loved the tale of samplers. He loved the story behind it. So for that Christmas, he bought me an antique sampler And so it's all his fault.
It is. Well, we're gonna blame him and also thank him.
Oh.
Aw. And he's been a part of this journey with you.
Yes, he has.
And a huge support, I'm sure.
He's very supportive. He knows I love what I do. When I got sick, my family, my Wisconsin family, and well, some live in Arizona, wanted me to close the shop or give up the shop. And I said, I am not ready. I'm not ready. And so they just stopped pushing for that. And now they see that it's what's kept me going.
Yeah.
They realize how important it is in my life. So I don't get pressure anymore.
Good. Well, I think it keeps all of us going because it's it's something we're all drawn to because we have that connection once we get there, and you can just feel the essence of all that you've laid down for us in that beautiful place.
Thank you.
So you bought the shop then shortly after you got the sampler, or how did that happen?
I started becoming a lover of samplers and needlework and a good customer, a regular customer. And then in 1989, the current owner decided she wanted to close. She wanted to get out of it. So she put the shop up for sale, and nobody wanted to buy it. And so several of us, customers, regulars, heard about it and said, well, we can't go on without the store, so let's buy it. So there were several of us that went in together. And that didn't work real well. I mean, it's difficult because everyone has different goals and different ideas about what the shop should do. And so anyway, as the years passed, I started buying everybody out, and I've been the sole owner since 1996. 96.
Wow.
And we've been in several different locations. This one we've been in. I just signed a new lease.
Good for you.
We've been there just over 10 years, and the other location we were 16 years, and before that. Anyway.
Well, we're happy to know that there's 10 more years of this beautiful place that we can. It's such a destination. People come from all over the world just to visit the attic.
Well, I'm really honored. It's just really a special thing for me. I love it.
Well, I think that's why we're so drawn to it, because your passion and your love for the needlework and what you've created there, I think it draws us all in and inspires us.
And I get to meet such wonderful people. I mean, truly, I am so blessed because I have gotten to know such wonderful women in this art, in this craft. I don't like to call it a craft. I like to call it an art.
No, it is an art. It is an art. It's probably hard to choose a genre of sampler that you are really drawn to, but can you pick a few
It changes.
Yeah.
It changes because when I first started loving samplers, I was a Darlene Osteen groupie. I bought Vera Bradley bags that just like she did. She starts in the upper right, and I started in the upper left, but I changed it to upper right because that's what Darlene did. I really was, whatever she did, that had to be the best thing. And I went to a number of workshops that she taught in Williamsburg, and then she was teaching at some shops, and I went to a shop in Maine that was in existence at the time, and I followed her around to go to these workshops. Lucky, right?
Absolutely. Fantastic. Yeah.
And so she loved 17th century band samplers. So I love 17th century band samplers. And then Vicki Jennett of Needlework Press came into my life, and she loves the primitive and the 19th century and a different genre. And so I started appreciating what they mean and what their significance is. So it's been changing. It's evolving.
It does. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we already know your favorite color.
Oh yes, I know.
There's no doubt if anybody's not sure, take a look.
My shoes, my car, my cane, my.
But I bet you've stitched things that don't
and
have
my watch
them. Yeah.
pad.
Oh, I love it. I'm sure you've stitched things without red though.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Not very many, but no, I have. Yeah.
So did you learn to stitch as a child? Were you
I did.
Okay.
I mean, I stitched pillowcases and dish towels, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
Yes.
stuff, embroidered.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think I did cross stitch, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then in 1981, my husband, we went to San Diego to visit his sister and brother-in-law, and she took me to the Lee Ward's store. And I went there and I bought a kit, and it said, "A sister is a forever friend," and it had the frame and everything. So I did that, and my sister still has it on her wall.
Oh, that's precious. Aw.
And so that was the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so easy to learn, and it's so therapeutic. At the time, I had a court reporting business. I was working full-time as a court reporter and freelance, and I loved that too. That was a wonderful, wonderful job. So when the opportunity to own the attic or become a part of the ownership came up, I really had a heart-to-heart with my husband, and I said, I don't know if I can do this with doing the court reporting and the shop, and he encouraged me to do it, and okay. So
Well, he really is the champion, isn't he?
he is.
We have to give him a lot of hugs when
Yeah,
he comes
he
in.
is my champion.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, is there anything else you want us to know about your stitching journey, or
Well, is there anything else you want to ask?
I always like to know what happens to you when you start stitching. What does it do to you as a person?
And it's so calming.
Yeah.
And when I don't stitch for I almost stitch every day. I mean, it might only be a half an hour, and often now in this time in my life, it's in the morning, the early morning. I'm an early riser, and I like to start many days with some stitches.
Okay, that's good to know. Some people start in the mid and in the evening.
I
but you're
stitch in the
morning.
evening too,
Yeah.
when I'm not too tired. Sometimes I just sit there like a blob and can't even pick up the needle. But whatever.
But
it's a very important part of my day. And if I don't stitch, I get crabby.
Me too.
It really affects my disposition. And I think it's really helped me during this journey with cancer, because it's really been very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Very. I don't know. In fact, I don't think I could have done that without my needlework. It's really been.
It really is. I think almost everybody has that reaction. Maybe it's the colors and the tactile experience and the sound that the floss or silk makes coming through. I mean, there's just so many, and it's a repetitive thing. So
Yes, and I love, like you mentioned, tactile. I love working with the fine silks and the fine linens. I mean, some people, well, Tanya Brockmeyer of Scarlet House. She was a customer first before she was a designer, and she'd come in and I'd say, "Well, you should try silks," and she'd say, "No, these are fine. The cottons are fine." And Sharon Crescent used to tease me because I would say, "Cotton," like it got stuck in my throat.
yeah.
And then what was I going to tell you about? Oh yeah, Tanya. So then Tanya, she came to work at the Attic, and so she could buy her silks her supplies at a discount. So silks became more attractive to her, and she started stitching with them. And she said, "Now I know that you're not just trying to make a profit. I know that they're really appreciably different and better to stitch with." So she developed a love for silk after she started working at the Attic. She still designs with cotton also, but cotton.
Well, it is the total package. It's the finished product, but it's also the process and the experience.
Yes. Well, and we are so fortunate to have the products that we have.
We are.
Beautiful linens that we have.
I know.
And all of the hand dyers that are, and all of the silks that we have available to us. How lucky are we?
We are so fortunate.
Yeah.
We really, really are. And you're surrounded here in this little mecca of designers, and I mean,
Well, they all used to work at the Attic.
Okay, there you go.
Really?
Yeah.
Vicky came to work at the Attic.
Okay.
And her daughter-in-law, Megan, worked at
Oh
the
my
Attic.
goodness.
And Linda Vinson worked at the Attic from Needle Made Designs.
No, isn't that neat?
And now the only one, Gloria Moore never worked at the Attic from My Lady's Needle. And Linda Danielson with Samplers Remembered never worked at the Attic. But she moved to Arizona because the Attic was here.
Oh my
was
goodness,
close.
Jean.
That's what she's told me.
So yeah, so I know, I hope you know, I'm sure you've heard it, but it's probably hard to absorb how meaningful this location is and what you've done and what
Well,
you've created.
It's been my joy.
Yeah.
It has been my joy.
And
my
I think-
pleasure and my honor. Truly my honor.
And you found the secret to life, didn't you?
Yeah.
You found
Yeah.
what makes you the happiest, and you've been able to make a lifelong
Yes.
career of it.
Yes.
And
And I'm not ready to give up yet.
Good.
That's why I keep fighting with this disease.
Well-
because I have lots more samplers to stitch.
that's right. And we're there with you with all our love and support.
Well,
and,
I know that, and I can't. This community is so caring. It really is. It's. I found that out when I was first diagnosed, and I couldn't believe the outpouring. Cards. There's a woman who was here this weekend. She sent me a card every day
oh my
when I was going through chemo. The first. I mean, it's been now how many years, but every single day she sent me a card. My husband knows her name by heart.
Every day.
Every day.
He probably knows her address too.
Yeah. When I said she was here, he said, "Oh, yes." Anyway, so people have been just.
Well, you are very loved, and you're very
thank
respected,
you.
and we just
Thank you.
You've changed my life in my stitching, and so, and I know many people would say the same thing.
Thank you very much, Susan. It's been really, truly my pleasure to know all of you.
And look, we're looking forward to at least 10 more years on this lease. So
Yes, I know.
we've got it, because we all have a lot more stitching to do,
Good,
Jean.
good. I have more for you too.
Oh, good. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to a great Sampler Symposium.
I'm
And we're
excited.
just getting started. So
Yes.
I loved hearing your story, and I'm going to share this with my audience and anybody who wants to watch, so they can
thank
hear
you.
about your journey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, there's not much more I can say after that. I think it was all said. If you ever have the opportunity to attend, I hope you will. If that's not possible, I hope you experience some of the magic that happens when you're in a room full of like-minded stitchers who are passionate about their craft and love everything about it. You will have instant friends, just like we have here on Floss Tube. I feel like we watch each other and we have friendships, whether or not we're in the room or whether we're miles apart. We have that common bond. So thank you for joining me today. Next time it will be a regular Floss Tube. I will share with you some of my plans for this year, the exciting things I have, the direction I'm going to take for this year, because last year was 1840, so stay tuned for the direction for this coming year. And I'll share the progress on my projects. Yes, I have made some progress, and some of my dreams for what I'd like to accomplish this year. So please join me in the next episode, and until then, make time for stitching. Bye, friends.